rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to take a moment to have a moment of silence with the recent tragic events that have been taking place in our country, not only in Florida, but right here in our own community. Lewis Weathers, and if we could just, Darren, his father's Lewis, thank you. Darren, if we could have just a moment to pay our respects. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Bunton.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Dempsey.
Here.
Ford.
Here.
Fournier.
Here.
Croft.
Here.
Menser. Here.
Okay. Announcements, acknowledgments, and communications and reports. Tonight we have a presentation of the City of Mount Clemens Local Treasure Award, and our recipient this year is Junia Quirio. And if Junia would mind coming up and bear with me what I have to read. What I want to read, I should say that. If you want to come around and take pictures of her better than me, that's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. Yes. All right. I've known Junia for a long time. This is a award, for those of you who don't know, we started this about 5 years ago. I think Mr. Campbell's the one that originated, brought up this idea of recognizing people in our community that go above and beyond to make the community better, to make their neighborhood better, to just make life better for all of us. So this award this year goes to Junia Quirio. It is presented the annual Local Treasure Award for exemplary positive contributions to the city of Mount Clemens. Through her actions, Ms. Quirio has created a positive and lasting legacy for all members of our community to appreciate and be extremely proud of. So Junia Quirio is hereby declared the local treasurer on the 20th day of February 2016. And it's signed by all the commissioners and the mayor. But before I do this, I want to read the nice things. I'm going to give this to you. The nice things that was said by the people who nominated her. Junia Quirio is a hidden gem tucked away at Lincoln Street, contributing her time and kindness for decades. We first met Junia when we moved into our house, into our house neighboring hers. Not too soon after, she appeared on the porch with a huge smile and a delicious loaf of homemade banana bread. I think we all need to get that. Throughout this past year, we have become friends with her daughter and son-in-law who live in the neighborhood as well. And little by little, we've learned more and more about how incredible Junia is and how much of an asset she is for the city. Excuse my throat is raspy. Not only is Junia the welcoming committee and the neighborhood matriarch, she also volunteers for Labor Day, does presentations and tree planting for the Mount Clemens Public Elementary Schools, organizes the crop walk through her FUMC 10 years running, makes quilts for the autistic kids at the MISD, collects and purchases and assembles 100 boxes of the Christmas Box Project, serves on the beautification committee, planting flowers and tending to the community spaces. We often see her lugging heavy bags of yard waste from the park near Lincoln Street all the way down to her house. But sometimes she does drop it off at ours. Member of the local senior bowling league, cooks pastry for fundraisers, active in her Mount Clemens church, helps with folks who cannot leave their homes, and still has the energy to exercise at the Concord Inn 5 days a week and maintains the machines there with her husband Gus. And she is doing all of these things and more, and she's been doing this, and I can actually attest to this for many, many years. Junia's generous spirit and consistent hard work sets a high standard for community involvement around here. She is truly a Mount Clemens treasure. Ian and Hope.
I was flabbergasted when I heard about the nomination, and I am so proud of my town. It's a pleasure to serve it. I'm especially proud of the kids and what they've done. We've planted 27 trees over the years, and each one of them feels that that's part of them and it's part of our town. And I just thank you so much. Appreciate
Well
it.
deserved. Thank you. Are there any announcements you have? No? Okay. Anyone else? No. Adoption of the agenda.
Motion to approve the work session agenda and the city commission regular meeting of February 5th, 2018.
Support.
No, it's adoption of the
This
agenda,
agenda.
not the minutes.
Oh,
Move to adopt the agenda as
Thank you.
presented.
Support. Whatever.
Okay, roll call?
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Fournier.
yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
Menser.
Yes.
Bunten.
Yes.
Okay, this is public participation time that you may come up to the mic. All we ask is that you give us your name, residential address, and that you adhere to our 3-minute rule.
Hello. My name is Masselina Taylor. My address is 238 North Walnut. I've been a lifer of Mount Clemens. I mean, I've moved away, but I've been back. I am trying to find out what do I need to do. We want to have a block party, and what the steps I need to take to make sure all of our paperwork and everything is in order. So, we'll stay in compliance with the city.
Okay. You can contact Community Development. They have a form that you can fill out.
Okay.
And what, 903 is the extension, or 901?
Yeah, my extension.
Yes.
901.
And what's your name?
Brian.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
and they'll take care of that.
There's a form available on the city website as well.
Okay, I can just go there?
Mhm.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nicole Savoy. I live at 101 Boheme, Mount Clemens, Michigan. I have a concern for safety where we live. It's a lot of drug traffic going on in the parking lot. It's adult living there. The apartment is composed of 12 units each, 3 buildings. I have went to the police multiple times to ask them to put our apartments on watch between 12 midnight to 6 in the morning, because that's when these guys are coming back there doing their drug transaction. They don't live there, and I don't know what else to do. They said they could try, but I haven't seen anything. I've been to Mount Clemens Housing. I've talked to them about it. I also presented Mount Clemens Housing with the machine is called a Fresh Air One, because we live in federally funded housing. Tenants in there are smoking marijuana, cigarettes. It's been reported. And I've actually had tenants come to our home and threaten us for my safety. We as residents there should be able to speak out and be protected and feel safe. So I don't know what other steps need to be done. I've even called the management over housing, and I haven't heard anything. I presented the information to them. I've heard nothing.
Do you want her to call you and?
She can certainly call me. The Housing Commission is meeting right now.
Yeah,
Upstairs.
that's,
Too.
the Housing Commission's meeting right now upstairs, and it's an open meeting. If you'd
Oh,
like to go there and
Awesome, I
share
didn't know
that
that.
with them.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
right up there and do
Okay.
that.
Okay, thank you.
But you can contact
But
the
you-
city manager's office as well with your information.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. Thank you.
Josh Elger, 1349 Balmoral. Former Housing Commission chairman. That's the first time I've ever heard anything about that. None of that has ever been brought to the board. But besides that, when I say former housing chairman, I was here 2 weeks ago asking for an answer on why I was not reappointed. I also sent an email to Lisa, the city manager, asking her when I got my letter that I was not reappointed. I was on the commission for 6 years. 5 years I was the chairman. We have, currently there is, as of 4 o'clock today, the Housing Commission is still short one member. The city manager has known since December that the board member resigned. My position was filled by a member. I haven't had any responses. I mean, the city has reappointed. There's people tonight being reappointed to commissions. Joe Heaston's been on the traffic safety for over 25 years. There's people on the planning commission. You know, people are not knocking the doors down. There's announcements all the time to come and volunteer. I volunteered to come and work on the commission, and get a letter that says, "Hey, thanks for coming, but you're not welcome anymore to be on the commission." The commissioner that I questioned a while ago, that was appointed by the city manager, had a 41% absentee ratio, and he was reappointed. 2 commissioners that were appointed to the board were approached by the city attorney and asked, "Hey, why don't you come and join something?" It was, I don't know, I just, you know, currently there's a position open that we're not able to, or that commission is not able to hold a meeting because of the the vacancy, knowing vacancy. So I don't know what the deal is, what the city's trying to hold up. We're a business. We're trying to compete our obligations to the HUD and housing, and without having a full board, it's pretty hard to handle that. So, I mean, we have 7 commissioners on the board. You know, if the citizens, or if you don't replace anybody here, then what happens? You know, things get, left behind. So I am formally requesting a full response, a written response of why I have not been reappointed. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I didn't hit anybody. Mike Zubis, 221 Cast. I got 2 things. First thing, I noticed that Harrison Township recently passed the Medical Marijuana Facilities Act, where they put out a pretty concurrent law. I think it should be studied, and if you guys are looking into doing something, definitely look into maybe stealing a few lines from that law. Number 2 is recently in my house we had somebody pass away because I'm pretty sure it's a fentanyl overdose, and it's made me come up with a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas on how to combat this. And I feel like I'm probably not the person who can make this happen, but if I throw this out there, maybe somebody on the commission can make this happen. But I noticed on the 2016 master plan that the hospital, the old St. Joe's, which is owned by Henry Ford, one of the wings is empty. It's for sale technically. And I think that if we can find a way to make Henry Ford work with families against narcotics and open up an opioid treatment wing, maybe if we can get some intensive treatment for some of these people that really need to just be locked into someplace and given, I guess you could say, tough love, where they just get detoxed inside of a confined environment, because this guy, he just jumped the fence and came back. So I don't think he was going to Harbor Oaks just for beer, but I feel like if anybody could get an opioid wing open, it could be Henry Ford and Families Against Narcotics and their Hope's Not Handcuffs program, which has done great. 900 people have been helped in the past year. If those 2 could work together, maybe we could fight this thing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Dolores Kasiniak, 250 Euclid. I was here last time complaining about the snow in the street. Well, that following Friday when we had the storm, Thursday and Friday, I didn't leave the house for 2 days. Meanwhile, I have a phone call from my pharmacy that my prescription was ready. So I'm looking outside, I said, okay, I have to go get my prescription because it was down to 2 pills. And I went out there, and my driveway was piled at least this high. There was a car parked on one side of my drive and a car parked on another. I'm thinking, oh, well, I got a truck, I got the snow tires brand new, I should get through this. Well, it started to go down, and eventually, I got to make a long story short, it was ice. I could not get out. So I put salt, I put newspapers, I put a mat, and next thing I knew, I was flat on my face between the street and my car. Luckily, I was all dressed in black, because if somebody would have came, they would have seen me. I could not get up. I had a knee replacement. You know how that is. You can't get up. I had to crawl to the front of my truck to grab onto the grill to get up. And I thought, and I was cussing. I was swearing up a storm. Not a soul was around. No one, because they were too smart to come out. Anyway, eventually I got up, and down the street, past the street next to me, I seen a gentleman telling me, no, he's a new person that came in the neighborhood. So I walked down there and I offered him some money, and he says, well, okay, well, I offered him more, and he's okay. I said, just help me get out. So by the time he came, another neighbor came out, and they both dug me out, and I ended up giving between them, both of them, $35, besides paying my taxes. I'm always going to bring that up. Anyway, then I went to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription, and they says, we don't have your prescription. I said, well, wait a minute, you called me yesterday. You told me it was in. So one of the other pharmacists heard me, and he says to the girl, did you look in that box? She says, no. Well, they were in a box, and they weren't even unpacked yet. You know, how stupid can stupid be? If you work someplace, you empty out boxes when you open up in the morning. And this was already 3 in the afternoon, and she didn't open that box all day. That was another thing that really upset me. So as they came back, the neighbor said to me, he said, you know, they plowed the streets this morning. I said, where? He said, well, that's a funny thing. They plowed in the middle, and all the excess snow went to the side. And I have a driveway and a car on one side of my drive and the other, all that snow landed there, and for 2 days, and it turned into ice. Well, no way I could get out. So I went on the computer, and I'm looking for a snow removal service. Montreal, if you look it up on the computer, Montreal has a snow removal. They have this great, big, humongous truck, and they have a plow that has a funnel that picks up all the snow and shovels it into this big truck. It's made by Detroit Diesel. It's a humongous truck. And then they plow one side of the street, and they plow the other side. And there's a narrator who narrates this, and he says, if we see a car there, and they had the warning, we told...
Okay, so
If I had
is
one
it
more
on,
minute.
is it on the internet?
Go on the internet, Montreal, yes.
Montreal, okay.
So just one more thing, we need to do something with this snowplow. It's going to kill somebody. And I shouldn't have to be digging out when I pay my taxes, and I have to pay somebody else to clean me out.
Thank you.
Ditto, Ruthie Stevenson, 69 Bain Street. If I offended anybody at last week's meeting, I apologize, but I was really, really angry, as Gloria has stated, Dolores has stated. The snow was like this, and once they got to my driveway, because of this abandoned vehicle, you might as well call it abandoned, because that's what it is, they went out into the middle of the street and all the snow was there. Well, needless to say, I talked on Monday. By that Tuesday morning, a truck came and plowed all that snow up to near that truck and around and out. Well, by Thursday and Friday, we start snowing again. And we had 16 inches of snow. 16 inches, and that vehicle is still there. Well, needless to say, the neighbor in front to the side of that truck on the left-hand side of the street, she called the police. They came that Friday night, ticketed the truck or whatever, and by Sunday, we called the police again. Nothing was done. And when the police came on Sunday, he stated that the owner had been ticketed and that he's going to move the truck. Well, guess what? All the snow is melted now, and the truck is still sitting there. Guess what? I can look down my street. It finally has been plowed on both sides because it was done on a Sunday. no post office, and nothing but that truck is still sitting there. We have to do something about all these abandoned, non-running vehicles. You know, the notice that you put out states that you're going to notify them, deal with it, or tow it. Well, excuse me, when does the towing part come in? When does the towing part come in? When it keeps impacting the community. And it's all over this city. It's all over this city. And having talked to one person, she's up in arms because some car is vacant and she's saying the city is getting on her last nerves about moving it. It needs to be moved. It needs to be moved. These vehicles need to be operable, because if they sit in one place too long and not working, they're impeding the process of, as Dolores says, we're paying taxes in order to have use of our streets. And between this vacant vehicle and the post office, something has to be done. But thank you for getting my street done finally in 5 years, because it was done on a Sunday.
Thank you. I was just looking for that report. It showed how many vehicles, abandoned vehicles. I'll bring it up after. Anyone else? Okay. Approval of the minutes from previous meeting. There is none.
All right, then I will redo my motion to approve the minutes of the work session and the regular city commission meeting of February 5th, 2018.
Do I have a second?
Support.
Roll call, please.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Fournier. Yes. Crap.
Yes.
Menser.
Yes.
Bunton.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Okay, general business, 9A. Request approval of the sale of vacant city-owned lots, 127, 140, and 149 Court Street, and 168 Euclid Avenue. Do I have a motion?
Move to authorize the sale of 127, 140, and 149 Court Street and 168 Euclid Avenue to Wallace Properties, LLC, for a total of $1,700, and to authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the necessary documents executing the sale.
Support.
City administration is recommending that the city commission authorize the sale of 127, 140, and 149 Court Street and 168 Euclid Avenue to Wallace Properties LLC for the following amounts: 140 Court Street, $500, 127 Court Street, $500, 149 Court Street, $200, 168 Court Street, $500. Managing partners Maurice and Antoinette Wallace reside at 124 Bellevue Street in Mount Clemens.
Questions, comments? Okay, none. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Ford.
No.
Fournier.
Yes.
Crap.
Yes.
Menser.
No.
Bunton.